You had a good lunch? That was shit. Did you have a good lunch? All right, so you're looking forward to more David X? All right, people, I couldn't believe it. People were angry for lunch break. Do you know what I mean? Like, I see people running out, I gotta pee, and I'm like, all right, we gotta stop for lunch. They're like, no, we want more David X. There's more David X. One guy almost had a heart attack because he thought Dave was done for the day. He was like, no, it ended. I'm like, there's 2.5 hours more. You know, thank you, Lord. And he was so happy. I've never seen somebody so happy for more David X. So yeah, man, that's awesome. The thing about Dave is, every time I listen to him, I learn more stuff. It's beautiful. Even if I know the story, they're funny. So I'm like, oh, it's this story, and I'll sit down and I'll listen to the story. It's fucking great. So it's beautiful. Has anyone here actually seen? Is anyone here? I'm curious. Has anyone not seen Dave? Like, haven't heard any of Dave's stuff? Nothing. Like, they just heard of him but never listened to shit. Really, one guy? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so almost everybody. Cool. Like 90% of you. Okay, that's really awesome. Sweet. Sweet. So yeah, man. I was out there getting some food, and it's great. Who spoke to some women during lunch? That's what I want to know. Put your hands up. All right, now put your hands up if you did not speak to women during lunch. Everyone, boo! Boo! Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Don't worry, I'm going to be talking about that a lot in my talk after Dave. So, fellas, we got a lot of stuff to get through, so I don't want to waste any time because we're a bit behind schedule. Now, what I've done, Dave wanted to get a girl up here to show us. Who would actually like to see Dave talk to a woman? Okay, so because I'm a hustler and I love you guys, and I want you guys to get the most out of this event, I called up a friend of mine. She's a very beautiful, really cool chick, and she's come down with a friend. So, be nice to her, guys, okay? She's a friend of mine. Be nice to her. Her name's Sophie. And so she's going to be up here with Dave in a minute. And if everybody's ready, and if I get a thumbs up from Mr. Dave. Yeah? We're good? Why can't I'm worried. Something's wrong with my site when I can't spot David X. I'm a bit worried. Is he behind the thing? No, because I'm like, I'm not that old. I owed you one, fuckface. What do you think from before? All right, guys. So, yeah. I'm super excited. I can't wait. I'm going to be there in the back listening. Give us a what? Give us a joke. No, I'll be doing jokes later. I can't. When I do my talk, I have a feeling there'll be some jokes. So, if we could, let's do this in a fun way. Let's start the applause over here in the corner. Oh, hang on, wait. Before we do that, yeah, that's fine. Over here in the corner, that's going to be you, and we're going to spread it. It's going to be like a fire, right? So you guys start clapping. You guys start clapping. Just over here, louder, 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 and more. Give it up, David X! Guys, hang on. Dave's mic's not on. Technical problems. Is it on? Did Ed turn the mic on? No, the mic's not on. It's okay. It's okay. Test that?
Testing. Is it on? Okay. So there was somebody who wanted to ask me a question before we cut, but is there anybody that... Why don't those two lovely ladies come down here? Hi. You know what? Guys, give me a couple of chairs.
Hello? Testing. I like having stuff on.
You got another chair coming up, guys? Yeah.
We need one more.
One more?
Yeah. So what's your name?
Annika.
Annika?
Yes.
What country are you from?
Sweden.
Sweden? What did I hear? Somebody was talking about Swedish girls today.
Only good things, Dave. Only good things.
How long are you here?
4 days.
That's it? 4 days. And your name is again?
Sophie.
Sophie? Mm-hmm. That's a really nice name.
Yeah. Oh, hello.
Hi, Sophie.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to ask you... You weren't here before, right?
Sorry.
You weren't here before?
No, we just came now.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question.
Well, you want me to lick it? No, I might electrocute myself.
No, don't listen to him.
Okay.
You're dealing with me.
Okay.
Focus on me right now, okay? Who cares about him? Okay, now, you weren't here before, were you?
No.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question, and both of you think of the answer. And I can guarantee you that I'll tell you the right answer, and you'll both agree with me. Okay? That's how sure I am that my answer is correct. Okay? What are the 3 most important things in any relationship? The foundation of any relationship, what's the most important things?
Can I answer?
Yeah.
Respect, trust.
That's 1.
Yeah, trust.
That's 2.
And humor.
No. Okay. You tell me. She's got 2 of them.
Love.
No.
Huh?
I'll tell you what they are. And
Sex.
And you're going to...
Obviously.
No, I'm going to tell you what they are. You tell me if you agree with me, okay? Honesty, trust, and respect are the 3 most important things in any relationship. You agree with me?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I think she bought that one, eh? Now, relax. I'm not going to ask you anything improper. What's your favorite food?
Steak.
Okay. What's your favorite food?
So much. I don't know, Japanese.
Japanese food, okay. What's your favorite color?
Turquoise.
Purple.
No.
What?
Turquoise.
Turquoise. Okay. What's your favorite color?
Actually the same.
The same. What's your favorite fruit?
Oh, pineapple.
Pineapple. And your favorite fruit?
Strawberry.
Strawberries. Okay. And what's your second favorite color? Black. Mm-hmm. Okay, no, what's your second favorite color?
I think red.
Red. And what's your second favorite food?
Korean food.
Spicy?
Yeah. Healthy, spicy.
Okay. What's your second favorite?
Italian.
Italian. Okay. What's your second favorite
Fruit.
fruit? You said you told me already.
Second?
Pineapple and strawberries.
Strawberries. Mine was pineapple.
Yeah, and yours were strawberries. And your second favorite?
Mango.
Mango.
Kiwi.
Why are you laughing so much?
Well, I'll tell you right now, you're a very romantic person, very romantic, and sensitive. No kidding. And you're fiery. You're romantic and you're very sexy.
Oh, well, thank you.
Am I right?
Well, you told me.
No, you tell me.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but I'm also very romantic and sensitive and...
Yeah. But but I don't say your prominent features are other things.
Okay, yeah, maybe.
Could be.
Definitely fiery, I think, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But
out from many years of experience. That's why I was telling you, when you pay attention and you ask questions, you can find out anything you want. When you talk to a woman or you talk to a man, you have to pay attention. You have to listen to what they're saying to see if you're compatible, to see how to get along with the person.
Absolutely.
Are you more relaxed now talking to me? You thought the questions were going to be terrible.
Yeah, I was a bit worried.
You were worried, eh? See? Nothing to worry about. I was going to say I don't eat women, but then I'd be a liar. That's just a joke.
Okay.
Now, you have to excuse me. I scoffed down my lunch in the last 10 minutes before I came down here. So, what to you is the most important thing in a man? What do you find the most important character?
Just one thing.
No.
Can I say a few?
Sure.
Okay. He has to be clever, funny, and, well, clever, funny, and...
Positive?
Yeah.
And what?
Positive.
Positive.
Yeah.
Sure of himself.
Oh, confident, yeah.
Confident.
No. Positive.
I was that confident?
You like somebody that likes themselves.
No.
No. That was just someone
He's
that's
not allowed to like
comfortable
himself?
with themselves and not
Comfortable
trying
with
to show
themselves?
off and pretend to be someone they're not,
Oh.
if that makes sense.
You know, that's exactly what I was describing to the guys here.
Show off is the worst.
The show off is like lying, right?
Yeah.
It's not being honest.
Yeah. True.
Honesty, trust, and respect.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
You can't communicate with a person who isn't honest. You can't trust a person who isn't honest. There's two kinds of respect, right? Fear and admiration. Either you admire somebody or you respect them from fear. I don't say bad fear, but there's a kind of fear and a respect. Somebody will do something to you if you don't respect them or something like that. And you don't want somebody who's living a facade.
Because you don't know them then.
Exactly. How many times have you found when you get to know somebody, they're not really who they said they are?
Oh, too many times.
It's better to find somebody you know right away and who's honest with you.
Yeah.
If somebody compliments you, do you take offense to it?
Just depends how they say it.
Of course.
Yeah.
If I tell you look really nice today and actually you look very sexy, does that make you feel bad?
I think if you take out the word sexy, I would take it much better.
Why?
I don't know, I just hate the word sexy. Oh, I think he wants to say something. I don't get that. Why?
Why would you want to use the word sexy?
Because like, oh, you look really sexy. It's like basically saying, I really want to fuck you. But, you know, it's like, just in a nicer way. And I think, uh-oh, it's coming down. Better love the sexy. I'm scared.
I'm
Oh, sorry.
I swear, I'm not going to. But, as you know, me and Dave, we're on the same wavelength in a lot of areas. But I have just a low tolerance. Oh, for those who don't know me, I'm Alan Roger Currie. I have a low tolerance for bullshit. And you told Dave that you didn't want a guy who pretends to be something he's not. You want a guy who's genuine. Now, it would be my estimation that if you offered blowjobs, 99.3%, it might be one guy who says, I don't accept blowjobs, but they would want you to suck their dick. They would want to have sex with you. But we as men, a lot of us, can pretend and say all these pleasant things. I was just talking to you about that, about saying things that are palatable to your ears. But I would think it would be disingenuous for someone to exclude the term sexy, if that's what he's thinking. If he's thinking you're a sexy ass woman.
Obviously he does. He doesn't have to tell me that. It's just, you know, you can keep things for later, you know.
For later?
Be a bit more romantic.
Let me ask you a question. Do you wear sexy underwear underneath your clothes?
What, right now? Or
Yeah.
just-
No.
I was just telling Alex, I was like, no, I'm wearing my granny pants. No, they're quite cute, a bit lace.
Lace, and they're cute, eh?
See, I feel awkward because I don't want to interrupt Dave's thing.
No, stay here. Get another chair. Get another chair for him, please, guys. No. Now, I find that when a woman wears sexy underwear underneath her clothing, because she's not going to show every man, but it makes her feel some way, and it makes you, like when you put a ribbon in your hair. You don't want me to say, oh, I like your ribbon, or what, do you need to hold your head together?
I prefer that because it makes me laugh. I would rather that than saying, oh, you look really nice today. Like,
Yeah. I would never say you look really nice today.
no, you would say with...
I say you look sexy, and you got a nice ribbon to hold your head together.
Okay.
You get dressed in the morning, and you take care of yourself. For what reason?
Oh, no, now we're going to get into this again. So you're saying that I do that to feel good so I can get attention and compliments from men? Is that what you're trying to say? Is that
No,
what
I think you're doing that for women.
For women?
No, I'm not. I'm thinking, you want me to patronize you? Yes, I think you're doing it for men.
Really?
Yeah, well, otherwise, why don't you put on a pair of jeans and a sweatshirt?
Because I feel good wearing a dress. Oh, sorry.
I'm going to enjoy this a lot more than she is. This will be
Alex,
good.
you need some sleep. You've got...
There we go. Say hello.
Hello?
There we go. Beautiful.
Hello?
See, what I'm trying to explain to the fellas here, they don't have the kind of experience that Alan and I have, because I know exactly, he's got a very low tolerance for
bullshit.
bullshit. Okay, very low tolerance, because he's a real guy. It's the same thing for me. You get dressed for me to notice you. If you wanted to melt into the crowd, you could get dressed like any one of these guys. Today, there's no women's clothes and men's clothes. It's clothes. Mind you, a bunch of guys wearing this would look a lot different.
Definitely stand out. Yeah. But what about us liking pretty little things? And
That's
it's kind of almost like...
with feminism. It's good. You like pretty little things because you like the response you get from pretty little things.
No, not necessarily. It just makes me feel good and makes me be happy and positive, and it's not just for male attention. Definitely not. Oh, God. Bullshit. Come on, say it. Spit it out.
No, I'm just going to say ditto.
Like a woman goes to the beach with a bikini and it just makes me feel good. What makes you feel good is knowing that guys notice you. Hey.
What we do for the tan?
We'll say that again?
We wear little clothes to get tan.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm going to give you a little bit of defense. You know, when I put on a nice suit, yeah, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, you would still not stand out.
But the reality is, when I'm in the company of an attractive woman, I want to fuck her. Simple as that. I want to fuck her. Now, I don't make no apologies for that. There's different categories. I'm not saying everybody in here is into casual sex. Sometimes you want to fuck a woman in a long-term monogamous manner. I know you guys call that making love. That's not fucking. Well, for some guys, that is bullshit. And see, that's where you get into the essence of my book. See, I think you know this already. There's a lot of guys who approach you and Annika, did I say right? And pretend like we want a long-term monogamous relationship. But in reality, we're just like, oh, man, Sophie, I'll fuck the shit out of her. Well, Annika, man, I'd have her ride my dick. That's what I'm giving you real thoughts. Matter of fact, given that you two are sitting together, there's some guys in this room right now, they thinking, damn, I love to fuck both of them in the same room. I let them just take turns, right? And then see, you laugh, you get that nervous, uncomfortable giggle, like, oh, yeah. But in your mind, you're like, I know all men think like that. And what I'm telling guys is just to be real about that shit. I'm not saying that guys treat women strictly as a piece of meat. We were having a discussion earlier about that. But different men, different women have different interests. Short-term monogamous, short-term non-monogamous, long-term monogamous, long-term non-monogamous. And you're going to ultimately match up with who's ever willing to reciprocate the interest that you're putting out there. If I'm looking for short-term non-monogamous, you're looking for long-term monogamous, obviously we're not going to connect. Now I'm going to try to use my persuasive powers to make you come over my way and make you realize that it ain't that bad. Like, she's smiling. She's like, Alan, I'll fuck you for a week. Aren't you just in town for a few days? But no, the thing that made me come down here, and again, I don't want to interrupt Dave's thing too much, is that it just kills me when I hear women say things that I feel are either blatantly contradictory or blatantly insincere. And a lot of women will say, well, men are such liars, why can't they just be honest and why can't they just be real? But then they turn around and say that if a guy tells them they want to fuck them, that they're a jerk or an asshole. That doesn't compute. Because if you were to give guys the green light to be honest, they would be honest. And a guy would come up to you and say, you know what, I'm not looking to marry you. I just want to make you come about 5 times or more. And you can say, if you're not interested, you can simply say, you know what, I appreciate your honesty, but at this time, I just do not, that's not my interest, that's not my cup of tea. Guys can accept that. But don't say you want a guy to come up and talk about the weather and the trees and the state of humanity when he wants to fuck you.
No, but of course men should be honest with their intentions, you know, if they want a short term, you know, or long term. But, you know, there are ways of
How do they know?
handling it.
How do they know? I'm going to tell you something. You're saying short term or long term?
Because most men are probably
Well, no,
for short term.
let me ask you something. That's true. You get into a relationship.
The first time we agree about something.
No,
Good. I think we're bonding now.
like, I'm here to Wednesday. I'll
Yeah.
fuck you in the back room. I'm not laughing. Go ahead.
I do it on a fucking desk.
I'm so happy I came down here tonight. I mean today.
You know, you meet a guy. Okay, you're going out with a nice guy. Sasha, I think he's a super nice guy. And I think he's too nice, to be honest with you.
Too nice.
How can he be too nice? We'll see what happens in your relationship, and I'll tell you later on. But,
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Real quick clarification. Sasha, this your girlfriend?
We're friends.
Oh, okay, because I don't disrespect my gender. So I just wanted to, no, seriously, I don't. I don't hit on other guys. So, go ahead.
and you go with a guy, right? And you like the guy, and you're having a good time with him. And you don't really feel sexually satisfied.
Yeah.
What do? Do you try to train him?
No, yeah, obviously. Because it takes, you know, you need to teach them what you like.
Right. What about what he likes?
Yeah.
You can figure that out pretty quick. Eh?
Yeah. Sorry.
I got a question. Sophie?
Wait, my question for did you ever pass up from multiple orgasms?
No.
I guess you didn't meet the right boyfriends yet.
So, speaking of, I heard you say back there, when he asked you what's the 3 most important things, you said being funny. And he just asked you about multiple orgasms. So tell me about the experience where in between each orgasm, the guy told his best jokes. Tell me about that. What were some of the best jokes you heard while he was
Yeah, no.
What were the best jokes you heard while the guy was fucking you? Huh?
not the time to be making.
I would bet that 99% chance the guy's never told you jokes while he's fucking you. They have? Lesson number 1, the humor shit is overrated. It's overrated. Witty, me and Sasha were talking about it. Being witty is cool. When they do something kind of funny and you respond in a witty manner, but this whole funny, I know a lot of guys who are funny that don't get any pussy. They're jacking off every weekend, but women say, oh, Larry, you're the funniest guy. He cracks me up.
That's not true. Do you know how many men that's... No, sorry, I rephrased that.
So you fuck every guy that's funny?
No, I'm just saying. I have met really unattractive men that would be like, oh my God, I was so not look at that guy. But he makes me laugh.
So you fucked him? Yes or no?
Once, yeah.
Huh?
Well,
one funny guy you fuck.
One
funny guy.
Come down here.
No.
What I'm trying to say is you said, oh yeah, you know, this humour shit is like overrated. But to actually get to that stage, you will have to be funny.
I want to clarify. I'm not saying to any guy you should be boring. I'm not saying you should have a boring, just total lack of charisma. And I don't think any guy, if he was being his natural self, would ever have that anyway. But I'm saying, I hear women say this all the time. And again, me and Sasha were talking about it at length. You know, oh, I like a guy who's funny. I think a guy should be funny. And there's a lot of women's platonic friends that are very funny, and they at home. You know, so, and I know a lot of guys who are not known for their humor, they get a lot of pussy. So I understand what you're saying, though. There's other things that can compensate for looks, but...
Let me ask you something. Would you not say he's got a great sense of humor?
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty
See,
funny.
I say it attracts women, good sense of humor. You want to know the guy's normal, great to talk to, even though you might not like what he's saying, you're enjoying his talk, his company.
Because it's funny. This is what we were talking about.
But you see, he's funny because he has a good sense of humor. But he's only speaking the truth. His sense of humor, it's the way he says it and the way he's bringing it to you. And yes, I definitely believe when you get up in the morning, when you get dressed, you look at yourself a few times at least. Yeah. You want people to look at you. You want to look as best as you can. Exactly. And that's to attract people. You're not doing it to blend into the scenery. You're doing it what's natural. You want to attract men to look at you. You want to look desirable.
Not always, though. Sometimes.
Not always, I guess not. But I'm saying you want to look desirable to men. Yeah. You know, these guys here, believe it or not, I'd say their biggest problem is they're nice guys. They're nice guys. These guys here, none of them would probably say to you what you would say to them. I'd say men are nicer than women in general. And most women that I spoke to would agree with that.
In what way?
Well, in a lot of ways. In honesty. Do you have a set of rules before you meet a man? No? Did you sleep with Sasha on your first date?
We haven't been on a date. Yeah, it's too tight too. Sorry.
Do you have a set of rules you do when you go out with somebody? How to act?
No?
Really. You do it all naturally? You? You have a set of rules? You don't have sex on the first date, or you?
Yeah.
You have a set of rules?
Yeah.
Did you ever tell a man the rules before you dated him?
No.
Oh. What happened to honesty? Don't you think he has a right to know your rules before he goes out with you?
No.
You think the man would go out with you? Hold on. You think a man would go out with you if you said to him, you're not going to fuck me the first date no matter what you do?
Well, it can change. It depends on him.
When can it change? If you have a set of rules or you don't have a set of rules?
Well, rules are set to be broken, right?
Lesson number 2, women are wishy-washy.
See, I try, I'm a little different than Alan. I try to tell these guys a way to govern themselves when they deal with women. Honesty, trust, and respect. That's the most important things. And I tell them, rule number one is not to try to think about what you're thinking about, not to try to please you. And rule number two is they should think of themselves first. They're the most important person in the relationship. That's the same thing you should think about. Before you meet a guy, you have to think of yourself very important. This is what I'm trying to teach these guys. How they deal with you after that is irrelevant. If I get these 100 guys here to leave here honest and learn to deal honesty, trust, and respect, the women that they're going to deal with are only going to be lucky. Right? And honesty. This man's saying you have to be honest with yourself too. You have to accept honesty and you have to project honesty.
But
I give courses to women too, by the way, so don't worry about it.
But are all these guys after like a long-term relationship, or are they just being taught how to pick up girls?
I'm going to tell you something. Listen to this. If you would have asked me in my 20s if I'm in for a long-time relationship, I would have laughed at you. Today, I'm in a long-time relationship, and that's only because I want to be. Not because somebody convinced me to be or made me choose between a long and a short-term relationship. You know what I tell when I start with a student? I start like this. Focus to know what you want. And when you know what you want, go after what you want. But what you want can change throughout your lifetime. For me, what I wanted changed a lot of times. You know, I wanted to sleep with a Chinese girl. Okay, because I had
I'm not Chinese.
I'm not saying you're Chinese. I'm just telling you something. I wanted to sleep with a Chinese girl. And I was going through all the different girls. I had a Russian girl, Croatian girl, Yugoslavian girl. And this was my turn for a Chinese girl. I met this girl, and she was really good looking. And I'm sleeping with her, and I'm telling her after, I says, you know, I have to tell you, there's two reasons I slept with you. And one is because you're Chinese. And she looked at me and started laughing. She says, no. I said, what is it? She says, I'm Korean.
That's such a lie, though. You made this up now.
No, I didn't.
No?
No.
Amazing.
If you know me, you know I don't lie. I don't have to, and I don't lie. But that's what happened. And you know what?
That made her feel really special, didn't it?
You know what? And I looked at her and I said, well, I'm pissed off and I thank you at the same time. Because I haven't gotten to Korean girls yet. So I figured she just jumped my list. But at that time, when I was going through my list of what to do, that's what I wanted in my life. Today, if you say that to me, I go, this was so stupid. Would have happened anyway. But that's what I wanted. And I'm just saying that what I wanted throughout my life changed many times. I think I was very lucky. Because of my luck, I'm here trying to help these guys. They don't know if they want a long-term relationship. First of all, they have to meet the woman that they'd want to have a long-term relationship with. What if they started going with a girl she wants a long-term relationship? That's almost like saying you might as well have pre-arranged marriages. Could you imagine if your parents made a deal with some other parent to make you get married? Do you know the funny thing is? On this planet, there's more arranged marriages than not. Did you know that? If you think about the people on this planet, you'll know that that's a true thing. And the first thing women want when they come to North America or the UK is they want to be free to choose. The same thing with these guys. They want to be free to choose. You won't be only going to go out with them if they want a monogamous relationship. Would you want a guy who's a virgin? Why not? Then you're a hypocrite in what you just said.
Oh,
well, you want a long-term relationship.
No, I was just asking them.
Yeah.
No, I was just asking what these boys are after and what you were teaching them? No, sorry, men.
I'll tell you what they're after. It's very simple.
Sex.
This. They're after pussy.
Oh, yeah, okay. But this is what I mean, so
Well,
are
that's
you
what...
teaching them different structures?
No, I'm only teaching them how to acquire what they're looking for. And not to overlook. Maybe they're going to meet a girl that they're going to want to have a long-term relationship. To find out what she's all about. To find out she's not lying to them.
Can I just ask something to all the boys? If someone sleeps... Men. Can I just ask all the men? If you go on a date, first date, and the woman sleeps with you, how do you feel about her afterwards? Awesome, really?
No.
So you haven't lost any respect for her, or...
Hold on.
No.
Hold on a second. Wait a second. You're not that kind of girl, right?
No. I'm just curious.
You know, I have a story about not that kind of girl.
Oh, dear.
They're all that kind of girl. If you're turned on to a guy, okay, you go with your gut feeling, your intuition. Women have intuition. If you feel good about the guy, you don't have a set of rules. So if you don't have a set of rules, it could happen you sleep with them on the first date.
Of course.
So what are you? Wait a minute. You think now he thinks badly of you because you just...
No, I was just curious. I just wanted to... Because a lot of men, a lot of my friends, they'll be like, oh no, she's not anyone I want to be serious with.
Can I tell you something? Every guy in this room looks up to me and Alan. And you want to know something? If I was a woman, they wouldn't even want to talk to me. You know what a porcupine is? I call women a porcupine. You know what that means? No. If they had as many dicks on her as they've had in her, she'd look like a porcupine.
That's a bit harsh.
If I was a woman, I'd be a porcupine. Okay? If I was a woman, not one of these guys would want to talk to me or even shake hands with me. There is double standards.
Yeah.
And you know what? The funny thing is, what I can do sexually to a woman, there's not another man in the room, maybe only one other man in the room who could do as well. And that comes from experience and wanting to be experienced. There's a difference. Am I right about that?
Wait, say that one more time.
What you do to a woman is from two things. Experience and wanting to have that experience.
Okay, yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay? I know one thing. The later part of my life, a lot of relationships that I wanted to get out of, I ended up keeping because I was too good in bed. And that comes from experience. It's not that I'm any better than these guys. It's that I slept with a lot more women than these guys. And yeah, I did something that a lot of guys don't do, which you were mentioning before, is asking to be taught and trying to please. My motto was, I want to spend some quality time with a woman and put a smile on her face. That was the only commitment I wanted to make. I didn't want a further commitment than that. And what's wrong with that? Why do they have to make a commitment to you right away? Hey, let's go. You'll have a long-term relationship. Put this in your mouth.
No, they don't. Not at all.
Exactly. And you can't say, you say, would you guys, if you, and he says he'd marry you if you slept with him right away. Yeah, I did. So. Your engagement's on. Don't get out of it now. But you understand? You see, you're doing a double standard.
No, I was just asking. I was just curious.
There's not a guy in this room here who doesn't want to sleep with you. You don't know that? You didn't know that when you walked down here that every one of these guys would fuck you in a minute. Okay, everybody who wouldn't want to fuck her, raise your hand. You don't want to fuck her.
I said 98.3%.
What'd he say? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Dave, I think because she called them boys, those two, see, when they heard boys, they said, oh, fuck her. But I don't even know if I would fuck you, but I'll let you suck my dick.
Don't look at me me when you say that, okay? No, but there's the reality. What we're trying to do, Alan and me, is help these guys with an honest relationship. You know, you've met lots of guys before, Sasha, I'm sure. You know, and how many guys do you think you met that are really honest with you?
I had one. At least.
You had one. Okay. I rest my case. But if you met any one of these guys that I'm trying to train, they would be honest with you. And that would be refreshing, right?
But again, the question becomes, can you two and the women you know handle honesty?
That, you know what?
A lot of women can't. That's what I was alluding to earlier. A lot of women can't handle it. They'll say again, I've been in conversations with women, and women will say, oh, I can't stand men who lie, and I can't stand men, you know, who mislead me. But then, you were talking about this whole commitment thing. If a guy just came to you at the club and said, you know what, I don't want to talk to you about the weather or your favorite drink. I just want to fuck you this weekend. Do you think a guy would make that up as a lie? That, damn, let me go up to this woman and lie to her and tell her I want to fuck her. Yeah. I really ain't thinking that shit. I really want to read a book with her, but damn, I just feel compelled to lie to her and tell her that I want to fuck her. How many men do you meet like that? I think I'm going to go to a club tonight and see how many guys. Hey, Alan, man, I want to hang out with you because I've been having this problem, man. I go up to women and lie and tell them I want to fuck them when I really just want to watch a soap opera with them. Now, if a man tells you he wants to fuck you, guess what? He wants to fuck you. But a lot of women I know are cool with that, but there's some other women who say, well, why does he have to tell me that? Why can't he keep that to himself? Why does he need to keep it to himself?
No, of course you want to hear it if you're with someone, but if someone
You meet someone
comes up to you.
So in other words, you want to hear from the guys you're interested in, but not from the guys you're not
That's
interested
right.
No, I want to hear it from the guys I have a relationship with.
in. Oh, relationship.
Yeah.
So you're telling me you've never had casual sex? You've never had casual sex? You never had casual sex?
But also,
Of course you had?
Yeah, but they didn't tell me that.
Alan.
The first thing they said, I want to fuck you.
Okay.
but can I?
They said, my name's Larry. God, that's a nice outfit. I want to fuck you.
But can I?
My
just-
name,
can I just-
wait. My name is David. Alan wants to fuck you, so do I.
I mean, I can add on more. See, here's the deal, and I'm not even being totally funny here. What you just said is why a lot of guys do add those layers. Because I know this from the email responses I get. They feel like they can't, so they add on a few more things like, wow, where'd you get this bracelet? In their mind, I want to fuck her. Damn, those boots are real nice. Where'd you get that? I want to fuck her. Wow. So what school did you go to? I want to fuck her. Damn, did you see that one movie, the one with Leonardo DiCaprio? I want to fuck her.
I have to disagree with you because I sometimes look at her and say, geez, I wonder what those boots would look up behind your ears.
But this is the thing. If you're in a club or a bar and a man walks up to you, you know, just him coming up to you means I want to fuck you. So he doesn't have to say it. So if I start talking to him, I will know. And then we go from there. We don't have to
I
say
hear this argument all the time. Okay, wait. Since you said that, when you walked in the room and I turned around and looked at you, you just knew you was going to spread your legs at some point? Or you knew I wanted you to?
No, but I'm saying in a bar.
You quick to move past it. You said no. Why? A man, can I just walk in a restaurant and just be like, the waitress is like, excuse me, sir, may I help you? Sir, would you like to take a seat? Doesn't happen. At some point, you got to say, I want a menu, and you got to look at the menu. I need to let you know I want to fuck you. Because a lot of women will say, and this is from guys I hear from, they'll say, God, you know, I met this guy at this club, and we had such an entertaining conversation. He told me about his dog and his little apartment. He was the nicest guy. Because I say, you know he wanted to fuck you. No, he didn't. He's a nice guy. He's not like you, Alan. Not everybody's naughty. Now, why would I get that response if she should have known that just by walking up, he wanted to fuck?
Well,
You need the mic to ask me? Go ahead.
Yeah. So how many times did the girl actually go with you and fucked you when you went to her and said, I want to fuck you?
how many times did that
How many times? Let's say this. I grew up in Gary, Indiana, which is not the most affluent city in the United States. Okay. And there's a number of jobs I could have had. I got an economics degree. But I am speaking in motherfucking England talking about pussy because I got a book that guys encouraged me to write. Does that answer your question?
Let me ask you a question, okay?
Well, let me quickly. The reason why guys encourage me, I'm going to tell you the pattern, then I'll let you say that. Here was my normal pattern. I was just telling some guys this back there. I would approach a woman, say like you, and I'd be like, so what you doing the rest of the weekend? Oh, I don't know. You know. Why do you ask? Because I want to just fuck the shit out of you. I want to see my dick sliding in and out of your mouth. And this is what they would do. They would be like, oh my God, I don't believe you said that. You're like an asshole. You're a jerk. And guess how I would respond? So next Friday, next Saturday. Oh my God, I don't believe you said that. You're not a gentleman. I was raised to believe all men are gentlemen. So you like doggy style? You like ride my dick? Oh my God, I mean, do you have any parental upbringing, any manners? Damn. Now, when you suck the dick, do you suck it slow or fast? True story. This is what women would do. They would give me all that shit. And once they saw I wasn't going to back down from anything I said, they would kind of look around, see if any of their friends around. Like you might look around, see if she around, and she stand for you. You're so bad. What's your name, Alan? Okay, here's my number, and you can come over. I got a lot of pussy, just like that. That scenario repeated itself so many times, and that's actually how my book came about. Because this is what would happen. The initial approach, guys would be standing, say, a few feet away, my friends, and you would be, say, going off of me. And they would be snickering like, damn, look at her. Annika's like letting him have the business, man. He's getting crushed. Then all of a sudden, just like you smiled just now, they would see you smiling. Sometimes I'd be tongue kissing you by now. And my friends be like, because if you weren't interested, you would just very quickly say, I'm not interested, and just leave it at that. You weren't going to all those theatrics like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I want to tell you a couple of things. When he said that, there's a movie clip that I sent all my students with the first session they had with me. The movie is, I don't know if you've ever seen it or heard it. You should watch it. Vicky, Cristina in Barcelona. And it's the clip was sent to me by my associate. It's a 4-minute clip. And I tell all my students, what this guy is doing is exactly what I'm trying to teach you guys. Now, if you have a chance, you should rent it or watch it or download it or whatever. You've seen it. And the funny thing was, when my associate sent it to me, I only got that clip of the guy coming over in the restaurant, propositioning the two girls. And I watched it, and I said to my associate, his name is Craig, I said, Craig, the brunette wants him more than the blonde. And he said, I don't believe you. And he downloaded the whole movie and called me back and told me, yeah. And I've never seen the whole movie. But I send that movie to every student. Because it's exactly what Alan is saying. He's exactly like this guy. And it's not just on movies. It's reality. And I want to tell you something in here. I don't know about the other guys, but I know about two guys in here. When I look at a woman, in my mind, I'm already having sex with her. I can tell exactly how I'm going to make love to a woman, exactly what's going to turn her on, what position I'm going to like best with her. That comes from experience. In my mind, every woman I look at, I'm fucking. And if she has nice features, it's not my fault. If she looked ugly, he's fucking her. You like that one, eh?
You see what she did, guys? God, I'm so bored with this talk. They're just talking about fucking me. I mean, every time I hear them talking about...
I'll say
No, I didn't say that, Ellen. I'm going to let you fuck me before the weekend's over.
You know, the amazing thing is, you guys are here, and you know that this wasn't rehearsed. It could almost be like it was rehearsed, eh? People watching the video clip might think we put it up. But I'm going to tell you something, like I said. And I'm so glad he came up to the stage. Out of all the guys that I've ever met in the industry or seen or talked to, he's the only guy I have the utmost respect from. As a matter of fact, he's the only guy I have any respect from. And right away, the first time I talked to him, I don't know if he's going to tell you the same thing, but I felt the connection immediately.
Let me tell the guys a story, and I've said this, I don't know how many familiar with my talk radio show? Well, if you've listened to it, I've had him on recently. His third time was recently. He has all my most listened to episodes. And it was funny. Just like he says, he thinks a lot of guys in this whole attraction and seduction community are full of shit. When I first came with Mo 1, I didn't know what the fuck. That was before the internet. I wrote the outline for Mo 1 in 1990. So I had no idea about guys like Ross Jeffries and these kind of guys. I later on found out about them. But I felt like most of them were full of shit. Because they, among other things, they would just teach guys how to be, like you mentioned, I think, something about being clever. That's what a lot of them teach, is that you need to be clever. You need to be creative. You need to pre-rehearse all these scripts. And I wouldn't be able to memorize all the shit they're talking about.
I think so.
And so anyway, I was on a message board, and I would talk about my principles and philosophies, and different guys would say, oh, so you're similar to David X. I ain't gonna lie, I had an attitude. I was like, who the fuck is David X? Because at least once a month, if not more, somebody would read about my stuff, and they say, God, he's very similar to David X. So my ego, of course, was like, nobody's similar to me. So I'm going to copy Sasha's response about, somebody sent me a complimentary copy of David X's ebook, and hey, I still owe him $20. Yeah, somebody said, Alan, I noticed you keep getting compared to David X. I thought you should read his stuff so you could... So I was just ready to rip it apart. I already had my pen in hand and my notepad. Because whenever I want to challenge somebody else's principle, I just dissect it. So I was ready to dissect it, and I read, like, say, the first 3 pages. And I was like, yeah, he's getting ready to have some bullshit. Okay, I agree with that. Okay, I agree with that. I agree with that. Okay, I agree with that. Well, I know the next part, I'm going to disagree with some shit. Yeah, okay, I agree with that. I agree with that. Damn, okay, damn, he thinks just like me. Shit. So by the time I finished the book, there might have been 1 or 2 minor things but I was like, damn, this guy is just like me. I felt like he was the only guy in the industry. I was like, first thing I said, he gets it. He gets it. And I said, I gotta have this guy on my show. And first day he came on my show, I had out, my listenership was just crazy. Matter of fact, I was just telling somebody, for my podcast, I usually average about 5,000. The somewhat exceptional guests, like I've had some Hollywood celebrities, I might have gotten up to 20,000 podcast listeners. David X, his second time on the show, I had 100,000, over 100,000 podcast listeners. First time he was on my show, I think I had 50 to 60,000 listeners, and I'm sure this third one. So yes, I'm going to return much gratitude because he's the reason I'm here. I didn't know about this event. He contacted me, and yeah, I will say the same thing. He's the only guy I respect because I've been invited to a few workshops. And I never wanted to share the stage with guys like, I actually did. I got invited. I'm not going to say their names because some of you guys in here would be familiar with these guys. They invited me. They were doing nationwide boot camps, and they invited me. They said, Alan, can you come in here and speak for about 10, 15 minutes? I said, sure. I didn't know much about him. And when I come there, this guy is saying all this crazy shit. He's like, yes, okay. And then when you go into the club, you hold a yellow banana, right? And then as you're eating the banana, you're giving a subliminal thing that you... And I just looked at the guys in there, and they can relate to me immediately. They just started laughing because I looked like, what the fuck is he talking about? And I just went in there, and I only stayed there like, I don't know, half hour or so. And I felt bad because the guys were so into shit I was talking about, which is a lot of shit I've already said, that they were like, hey, can Alan just stay here? Can Alan just stay here? And the guy was like, no, he's really not official boot camp member. We just invited him. But yeah, most of these guys out here, I don't know how many of you guys have been to these other boot camps by these, what David and I call the indirect guys. But it's just basically teaching guys how to further not have balls and how to give in to social program, because that's the reason why a lot of you guys are here. I'm looking at the audience. Ain't nobody in here like just ugly, repulsive. See, guys always make me feel like when I do one of these, I'm going to have a guy, what's his name, Igor from the Hunchback of Master, I can't pull no women. And I'm like, so any guy in here is reasonably handsome, except for the guy you said you would just let him fuck off. But no, when I look at it as you guys, like I was at one time, gave in to what I call this faulty social programming. Believing in all this shit about you got to be a gentleman, and they kind of contribute to it. Well, I want a guy, and it was like, I want a guy to come to me in the club, you know, and ask me about my day, and, you know, make me think he loves flowers. And no, just, I want to thank Sasha for having me here, David X for allowing me to come on stage, because, you know.
My pleasure. We
each have our time, but yeah, I admire this man. We call him the godfather of the natural direct approach. Give it up for David X.
Give it up for Alan. You're not too upset that we brought you up here, are you?
No. I was enjoying your little
I hope you're not
lovely.
upset. Well, this is a mutual admiration society between us two. But you see, I want to tell you something. And I mean this. Like Alan said, I said the same thing at the beginning. I wanted to take my camera and film this for my wife because she keeps thinking they got to be like Alan said. They got to be like crippled weirdos. And they're all nice guys. I got a couple of these guys are my students. And they're the nicest guys. I would be honored to have any one of these guys as my friend. And I don't take friendship lightly. And Alan heard me say this, and I can tell you the same thing I say to everybody. To have a good friend, you have to be a good friend. And I don't take that as a joke. These are all exceptionally intelligent and nice guys. If it would be, I'd say I have to go back about 300 years, they'd all be knights. I've said that to a couple of these guys. But the problem is, they're too smart. They overthink what they have to do. It's simple. If you're honest, say what you want. If you don't want it, you just have to say no. He's not going to physically abuse you. You're safer with anybody here than anyone else out there. They'll say what they want. And that's all you have to hear. You don't want it? Have a nice day. But at least you know you're desirable to them. You have to feel good. Women want to be desired. And if you tell me, no, you don't want to be desired, you're lying. What kind of makeup do you use?
Eyeliner.
What kind? What's the brand name?
Well, usually I wear MAC, but I lost it, so now I'm wearing some other brand. I can't remember.
What makeup do you use?
Elizabeth Arden.
See, you're very loyal to your makeup. Usually women are very loyal to the makeup they find that they like. Am I right? How many of these guys you think are loyal to their makeup? None of them wear makeup. Does that surprise you?
Not really, no.
You never thought of that, eh? How big is the makeup industry in the UK?
Probably massive. Huge.
Huge. And only half the population uses it. It's amazing. There's a lot of things that you don't know about men. And there's a lot of things these men don't know about women. When they know as much as I know, that's when they'll have a monogamous relationship. Why would you want to have something that you don't know about? I told my son, the day he was born, I willed my car to him because I had that car 38 years. And I told him when he started his driver's license, he has to learn a stick. Because if he doesn't learn a stick, he ain't getting the car. And it's a responsibility I gave him. I've kept that car for 38 years, and I've kept it pristine. Because whatever I do, that's my way. I'm a perfectionist. If I don't do it well, I don't do it. You might not believe this, but I'm a scuba diver. Not only am I a scuba diver, I took every course there is. I did underwater navigation courses. I became an instructor, and I got my commercial diver ticket. But I'm a sport diver. And every time I went diving with my friends, they wanted me to be dive master of the dive. Because divers have a rule. There's bold divers, and there's old divers. But there's no bold old divers. Same thing with women. You have to know how to handle them to know if you want to spend the rest of your life with one. And you can't, you don't want one virgin. You'd rather a man who knew how to make you happy. So to ask a man if he wants to be monogamous when you first meet him, don't you think it's a little premature?
Absolutely.
Get to know him first.
Hey. One for the ladies. Not girls. You spend all this money on shoes. We never even notice your shoes, man. But why would we...
You're wrong. I just told you I noticed her shoes. I'd like to see him behind
You
her
did,
ears.
yeah. But usually, the average man wouldn't be interested in
Do you
shoes.
see? We're obviously not doing it for...
Love the makeup. We're looking at you because we desire you. Because that's how we're programmed by evolution.
But
Actually, I look at shoes because usually when a woman got the high heels, that means she love to fuck. Straight up. When she in flat shoes, I'm like, yeah. But she got them high stilettos. Huh? I don't know. Oh, yeah, they like to fuck too.
Hold on a second. Before you start, just a second. When I was in high school, I once talked to my friends. I said, you know, I noticed something. He said, what is it? I go, every girl that smokes likes to fuck. So I happened to go after only the girls that smoked. And the funny thing was, every time I hit on a girl that smoked, I fucked her. So one of my friends says, you come up with these stupid rules, these stupid things. How do you know it works? I go, it's been working. The same way what he said. I'm going to make sure I go out with girls only with high heels. It's the same kind of rule. He gets it from experience. This is something you just don't acquire overnight. He's an educated man. Nothing comes out of his mouth that he didn't think about first. And like I said, he's only trying to help you guys. Now, I'll tell you again, hopefully after the seminar, well, we're going to go and spend some time together. And when I told Alan why I'm excited to spend time with him, it's because wherever I go, and I was at a restaurant in Montreal, and people come over, ask me to sign, David X signed the, autograph. Well, at least when I go away with him, we're just two regular guys who think alike. And that's going to be very refreshing.
Isn't it funny? I'm sure a lot of guys in here have experienced this, where, like David X lives in Canada, I live in the United States. But yet, we immediately develop this kinship because we think like, oh, wait, somebody told me to get the mic. Now I'll let you. But no, I was just going to say that I could have a guy living down the street from me, but I would never have a connection with him because his thought process is totally different than mine. Whereas this guy, I knew as soon as I read his stuff and as soon as I had the first interview, it's just that weird. How many have met somebody, it could be even someone of the opposite sex, that they lived in a totally different city, a different country, but you were like, damn, they think just like me. Isn't that kind of refreshing? You're kind of like, wow, it's a trip that somebody you would think you grew up with the same experiences. But I hope your question wasn't for Sophie because she just walked away. Anakin, can you handle this question? Because you've been kind of quiet over there.
Just something I thought we may not have addressed was why they don't have sex on the first date, which is possible. No, she said she has a rule. She has a rule, which is that she won't have sex on the first date unless it's broken. Okay, but yeah. But it's that.
It's funny, eh?
But
yeah.
This is a common theme that women will actually not sleep with the man because they think that they'll lose respect. So they're thinking about what the man wants, which is.
Here's what I look at it.
She's not that kind of girl.
Yeah. Anakin, when you play with your pussy, you use your fingers or a vibrator or a dildo?
Pardon?
Let me talk slower. When you play with your pussy, do you use your fingers, a vibrator, a dildo, or a bullet?
Do I have to answer?
I mean, I'm not going to force you. I'm asking you an honest question because this is kind of about honesty,
Yeah, true. Usually I don't.
You don't masturbate?
Not very often. I prefer someone else to do it for me. But if I do, a dildo, yeah.
Okay.
I want to just say something. There was a survey once, and they asked 100 men if they masturbate. 70% said yes, 30% lied.
Now, Anakin, I didn't ask you that to put you on the spot, but the point I was going to make is that, what's your name? Spencer. When a woman's pussy gets wet, she wants to have an orgasm. Now, if that was the only thing that was at play in her mind, then she would just make that happen, as a woman does either with her fingers, a vibrator, or a dildo. Now, when it comes to human beings such as yourself, I was telling some of the guys back there, so that's going, when you hear me talk tomorrow, I'm just going to keep emphasizing social programming. She was asking me, you asked me, was I successful with those women who kind of gave me a bunch of shit? I'm always successful with the women who give me a bunch of shit. Always. Actually, the women I'm not successful with is the women who don't give me a bunch of shit. It's the women who just say very quickly, very calmly, I'm not interested. And they end the conversation. But the women who do all that theatrical shit, 19 out of 20 times they get fucked or they suck my dick. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. Because what's happening is it's an internal conflict. They're like, God, this guy's getting my pussy wet. But I've been brought up to believe I'm supposed to be a good girl. But damn, he's so bold and he's so straightforward. But my mom told me not to sleep on the first date. And it's this conflict going on. One moving in this direction, the other. And that's what's causing her to do all that. Well, I can't believe you said that to me. I mean, you're supposed to be gentlemanly and say this and shit. But she's still standing there, though. She's still standing there. And at some point, I break them down. I'm serious. A woman can't stand and give me 5, 10, 15 minutes of criticisms without me breaking them down. I'm always going to find a way to break you down because that's incongruent behavior. Incongruent behavior.
Does that still work if they are furious with you?
Some of my best fucks have been with furious women. Seriously, who was that? Where's John? What was I telling you about? And Steve, I think he left. I was telling them about the guy, David, if you don't mind, just a real quick story. I had a woman who I was friends with in San Diego. Her name is Sherry. And she was funny. She got so fascinated by my Mode 1 behavior that she treated me like this, I don't know, toy or something. She would invite me to social functions just like, say they were at the social function. She'd be like, Alan, go be Mode 1 with them. Go be Mode 1. I want to see what happens. And she had me at this one party where this woman in her social circle was known as the most stuck-up bitch. You know, all men were known for not approaching her. And they dared me, so I went and sat next to her, and I just kind of stared at her. She gave me that look like, why are you staring at me? I said, you have some really nice lips. And first she said, thank you. And then I said, I can't wait to see them just wrapped around my dick. You said furious? For the next 10 minutes, she cursed me the fuck out. If he was filming it, what's your name? Bob, if you were filming it and you cut it off at the point where nobody in here would have came to this, they would have been like, I'm not going to see Alan Roger Currie. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. She just cursed him the fuck out. But if you kept the tape rolling, about 45 minutes to an hour later, she was getting ready to leave. And she asked for somebody to accompany her to an SUV. And this was an affluent neighborhood. It wasn't like a bunch of thugs and gangsters. Matter of fact, Sherry, my friend, was insulted that she felt like she needed, but she knew what she was doing. And so my friend Sherry said, okay. She was looking at other guys. The woman says, the furious woman says, no, I want him, points at me. And I see it from far away. I didn't know what was going on. And Sherry just goes. And I'm like, and I'm thinking I'm going to get admonished, you know. And Sherry's like, my friend wants you to walk her to her SUV. And Sherry knew she was going to end up sucking my dick. And sure enough, here she goes. She's like, now don't get the big head. I just want to pick your brain. That means she going to suck my dick. And I just, so we walk to the SUV. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have you come over to my apartment. I'm going to have 2 girlfriends. And we're just going to ask you a question about why you feel you can be so audacious. I was like, just be real with me. Tell me that you want my dick in your pussy. No, I'm not going to say that. I was like, take care. What do I feel? No, wait. Tell me. No, I don't want to say that. I don't talk like that. You going to talk like that or I'm out of here? Okay, I kind of, sort of, I wouldn't mind sleeping with you. No, say, Alan, I want you to fuck me. Anyway, without getting into the whole dialogue, she essentially says that I'm in her SUV. This same furious woman sucked my dick like she owed me money. And I'm telling you, that's why I tell a lot of guys I coach, they get freaked out on these criticism stuff. I'm like, those are not the women you should be freaking out on. The women who have genuinely rejected you, and I do say, if you get rejected, don't be persistent. If a woman looks you dead in your eyes, what's your first name? Omar, and says, Omar, you're a nice guy. I'm just not interested in sharing your company. Don't try to press that further. 98.9% chance she's being sincere. She's just not interested. When a woman rejects me in a calm manner, I leave her alone. But again, if a woman starts giving me all that, well, you should. If a woman starts qualifying why she shouldn't share your company, like, I would share your company, but you talk too much. I would share your company but you're too cocky. She's trying to convince herself all that shit. That's that conflict going on. She wants to fuck you, but her social programming is saying, I don't think I should. I don't think I should. I want to. My pussy is saying yes, but my intellect is saying, no, I don't think I should. And I just systematically break that shit down. And that's honestly how you could say the legend of Mode 1 began, because guys would see that, including my own brother, my older brother. You think your brother's supporting everything. He was starting to hear from my friends. And he said, man, you can't just go up to a woman and just like say, I want to fuck you and I want to fuck you. That's crazy. You're going to get slapped. Didn't you say all the years you've been direct? How many times you've been slapped?
Never.
I'm sure he gets that a lot. I get that a lot. Guys say, Alan, I want to be more one, but, if I'm as straightforward as you, I know someone was just going to multiple slap me. And it's just like Dave was talking about somebody over here, and he said, you told him, don't look ahead, don't anticipate. That comes from you thinking. Your mind is visualizing that shit. I've been more one for 20 plus years. I've never been slapped. Never had no beer thrown in my face. Women will even say that. They'll say, I bet you've been slapped a few times. I'm like, you didn't slap me. Oh, yeah, that's right. Women like to fuck. They could try to spend an hour convincing you that they don't love to fuck, but they love to fuck. Sophie loves to fuck. Look at her. She's like, damn, I love to fuck. Annika likes to fuck. She likes to be kind of prim and proper.
You're changing the color in her face now.
She's like, I like to make love. I don't really like to fuck. And I respect that. Women they like to call it making love. Just fucking.
Question for the ladies. When you're out socializing or you're walking the street, if a man approaches you and makes an approach, what do you think he's there for? What do you think he wants from you?
Well, Sophie said it. She said any guy who approaches her, he wants to fuck, right? Didn't you say that?
I said in a bar.
If they're in the grocery store, they don't want to fuck. Right.
I guess they're hungry. They're too hungry to fuck.
Oh, I like that. Wait, I like that, dude. You was dominant with that, dude. You said, man, he was like, answer that shit.
I mean, it depends on the situation, but of course he wants,
What do you think he wants?
yeah, he wants to, I don't know, take you out and then
And then what?
fuck you.
So you want him to be honest with you? To say that up front? Or
No, she wants the guy to take her out first.
you want the small talk?
Well, it's the small talk that decides whether you're going out with him or not.
I mean, I can't speak for your experiences. I'm going to say based on mine, and everybody knows this who read my book, literally the first sentence in the first chapter of my book is, I hate small talk. That's not to say you shouldn't have any conversation other than fucking. I'm not saying that at all. You can have a conversation that's not necessarily related. But small talk is any conversation you have that's not directly related to your interest. And so, again, I'm not saying every man should just come in the first 5 seconds and say, hey, you Anakin, I want to fuck you. No. But they should make it clear that they're not talking to you because they want to read a book.
They're doing that just by coming up to you.
Hmm?
They're already doing that just by coming up
Well,
to
see,
you.
here's the thing, though. And this goes back to what I was talking about, the interest. I'm just speaking for myself. If my interest in you is, say, a long-term monogamous versus, say, a one-night stand weekend fling, yeah, there's some stuff important to me. I'm not going to date a psycho, so I want to know if you're not a psycho. I'm going to ask questions to find out different, like David X is big on, we both are, on honesty, character. So we want to know things. Any guy in here who wanted to date you wants to know things. But honestly, if we just want to fuck you, what I need to know other than you ain't got no, I hope you don't got no STDs. I mean, what do I need to know that you like Star Trek in order to fuck you? No? What do you let me ask you honestly. Let Dave talk, because Dave look like, oh. If you say you just wanted us to fuck, you weren't looking for me to be your husband, your next 9-month boyfriend, what would you really need to know about me? What would you need to have as your prerequisites for a casual fuck, other than that you're attracted to me?
Yeah, not so much.
You see, look, you said not so much. Small talk is bullshit, especially when your interest is casual sex. Why the fuck do I need to come up to a woman and start talking about the weather and my nephew and the dog trick I saw down the street the other day? What does that have to do with the fuck that I want to hear you moaning to my dick and I want you to come on my dick? I just want, that's my focus. I just want to meet you, let you know in different words. I might not say it in X-rated. I might say use PG-13 language depending on where I am and how I'm feeling at the time. But ultimately, this is what I want. At the end of that conversation, I don't want you to have any doubt. Like I was talking about how some of my girlfriends are. Like I'll say, if I got a friend named Linda, I'll say, Linda, what did that guy